So, a very reliable source of information has confirmed that Mathys Tel's first choice is Manchester United. What is the latest on Tel to Manchester United? As Marcus Rashford, it's believed that he is going to leave United. Is Tel coming in on a permanent deal, a loan deal? Is Garnacho going to Chelsea and Nkunku to Bayern and Tel to United? Could there be this kind of cycle here? We're going to talk about Mathys Tel and this exciting news story that's come out. Rasmus Hojlund reportedly on trial under Ruben Amorim. Amorim not fully convinced on the player. We will talk about that. The Garnacho 48-hour deadline on him. Chelsea to come in late to try and complete the deal. What is the latest on that? And then the Marcus Rashford situation, because I think what happens with Rashford and Garnacho at the end of the day is going to have a massive impact on maybe what happens with Mathys Tel or this last transfer coming in, if it's permanent, if it's a loan, if we can get him, etc. But Man United want Mathys Tel. Man United have been looking at Mathys Tel for over a year. I reported 2 weeks ago that Mathys Tel was one of the forwards that we were monitoring, we're keeping an eye on, and then yesterday we've been linked to him. But I was telling you guys about Tel 2 weeks ago. I said this one is someone Man United's watching. None of the journalists have said it yet, but he's being watched. I said I probably don't think anything will happen because it's Man United we're monitoring FC, but I told you guys 2 weeks ago and did a video about him that he's being watched. And it's now been confirmed by Romano. There's reliable sources that United are interested in him. Now, Paul O'Keefe, and he is one of the best sources of information for Tottenham news. There's, I believe for Tottenham, there's Alistair Gold and there's Paul O'Keefe. And they're like the tier one sources for Tottenham Hotspur news. They're like the Orney and Laurie Whitwell for Tottenham Hotspur news. Obviously, Fabrizio Romano does it all. And Paul O'Keefe was asked in response to news reports saying that Tottenham are in for Mathys Tel by a Tottenham fan. Can we believe? He said the boy is in Mathys Tel, wants Man United. Let's see how Bayern play that. And that was said by Paul O'Keefe. He's saying that Mathys Tel wants Manchester United. Now, again, he's not a Man United journalist, but he's up the top end of Tottenham journalists. This isn't, just a Samuel Lucas or a Rob Dawson or anyone like that who's decent United journalists, got information. This is like a Laurie Whitwell level journalist where you know that they are tier one for their club. So the fact that such a reliable source has said that Mathys Tel wants Man United is really, really promising information, and I assume more is going to come out on that. Now Bild is reliable when it comes to Bundesliga news, not reliable when it comes to outside Bundesliga news. With Tel, he's in the Bundesliga, so again, for this case, they're reliable. They said that United, Tottenham and Arsenal were interested in signing Tel. He's made it clear he doesn't want to go to Chelsea because of the competition. So Chelsea's stacking up on every young talent, is sort of not doing them any favours there. But he wants, Man United, Tottenham and Arsenal in the race. I think there's a feeling that United could edge it, but who knows? Tottenham need an attacker, Arsenal need an attacker, all three teams need an attacker. It'll be interesting to see it, but I think considering the player wants the Man United move, he sees that as the best opportunity for game time, maybe Ruben Amorim, the fact that we showed interest in him last year. I think if we have the money, we win the race. And the only way we have the money is if Rashford goes on loan and we can agree a loan with an option to maybe buy with Bayern, or if Garnacho goes on a permanent, then I could see something happening. Now, interestingly, people are sort of saying, could Chelsea trying to offload on Nkunku, we could sell Garnacho. Is it a case of Garnacho to Chelsea and Nkunku to Bayern? Because Nkunku sent us the Tel replacement, Tel to Manchester United. Could it be something like that? Again, before Ineos were in the door, we were looking at this guy last January. The interest has been there for a while. This was also news that came out via United Frenzy, saying that Manchester United have been just discussing attacking targets internally in the last week. Tel has been mentioned. No decision on whether a pursuit will be made. Tyler Dibbling more so a target for the summer because Southampton will get relegated. Tyler Dibbling will be a lot cheaper. Now, if I'm going to be honest, I want 2 attacking reinforcements. But I think if the first one is 19, like Mathys Tel, I don't want to bring in a 19-year-old in Dibbling because we're already complaining about the lack of experience in Hojlund, Garnacho, and Ahmad. For me, I'm happy to bring in one nice young player like Mathys Tel, but I think the second signing for me, I would like to have a little bit of experience, whether it be a Cunha, whether it be a Gyökeres. The only question about Mathys Tel, and we're actually talking about this on the Devil in Detail podcast earlier today on the United District, that might be up to tomorrow, but we were saying, is his best position left 10 or striker? He's sort of played all across the front, whereas, Cunha slots into left 10. That's the only question mark around Mathys Tel was what would his best position be? But he would be definitely more suited to playing in the pocket. Sorry, I was saying he would definitely be more suited to playing in the pockets than someone like Garnacho. Garnacho and Ahmad are wingers, but Ahmad excels more in the pockets, whereas so does Tel. So I think he could be a decent fit for United. This was the news that I reported earlier today. Manchester United are considering entering the race for Tel if Alejandro Garnacho or Rashford leaves. Tel's decision to depart from Bayern Munich, exclusively revealed last night, has sparked interest from various clubs, including Chelsea and other Premier League clubs, but obviously he doesn't want to go to Chelsea because of the competition as well. He wants Man United. Tier 1 sources have said he wants Man United. Will United go for him? It depends on Rashford. It depends on Garnacho, in my opinion. He doesn't want to join Spurs. He doesn't want to join Chelsea. He wants Manchester United, is what's being said by reliable sources. So I want to dive into some more news. I want to dive into some more stories, but I reckon we'll get some more Tel news tonight. So if there's any more news that comes out, there will also be a transfer video tonight. So make sure you subscribe for that. What's been said on Rasmus Hojlund? Now, this has been said by TalkSport, so do take it with a pinch of salt, but it's been said that Rasmus Hojlund will effectively be on trial between now and the end of the season. Ruben Amorim has been far from convinced with the player. Now, are they probably saying this because Hojlund's not in the best form? Yes. Do you think they've got this information? Maybe, but do you think it could be a bit of guesswork? I just feel like a lot of journalists just see, oh, that player's not playing well. I heard this a couple of months ago. Let me put out this story. It's probably still relevant. That's what I think. But I do think one of Hojlund or Xerxes will go in the summer. I think we'll sell one of our strikers in the summer and we'll bring an experienced striker. Man United believe in the potential of Rasmus Hojlund. I know that for a fact. But I think it's what Ruben Amorim sees. Again, as discussing earlier, I think Hojlund, if you're playing the balls in behind and you're letting Hojlund run onto the ball, good striker, run the channel, ball in front of him, good striker. We saw it in pre-season when he scored that goal before he got injured. That's what Hojlund's about. We saw it in the Bayern Munich game, the Galatasaray game. What Hojlund isn't about is slow build-up, coming deep, holding up the play. He can't do that, and that's what we're doing at the moment. That's why Xerxes is the better option at the moment. If we get in the wing-backs and we adapt and get in the players to play Amorim ball and we can be a bit more direct, Hojlund works. But if we're going to be holding up and there's a back-to-goal work, Xerxes works better. So I think it depends on where Ruben Amorim sees Hojlund in the future, because he obviously got 16 goals in his first season at United. He showed something there. I think it just depends on what Ruben Amorim sees. Does Ruben Amorim see us being more direct with this signing and this signing and this signing maybe coming in the summer? Does he want a striker that's maybe better at the hold-up? It'll be interesting to see, but I think he is on trial because this is his second season. Even though he's young, there's that saying with Omar Barada that it's 2 seasons to prove yourself or you're gone. I think we feel really young, like Hojlund, maybe you get a third. I think United could give him 1 more season to fully judge because this is a new system, but he was a 10-og signing, and if Ruben Amorim wants him gone, I think he would go, because at the end of the day, Amorim didn't bring him to Manchester United. But I do think he's more like Gyökeres than Xerxes. Anyway, continuing on. Chelsea are willing to bide their time for Alejandro Garnacho. The deal could go down to the wire. And this was, I got through the MUFC MPB Twitter account, or X account these days, said that Napoli want to finalise a deal with Manchester United for Alejandro Garnacho in the next 48 hours. So I think what's going on is Napoli and Chelsea are thinking, oh, if we get it to deadline day, will United cave and sell Garnacho for cheaper? I don't think we will cave or sell him for cheaper, because we won't have time to replace him. And Ruben Amorim will not want to sell Garnacho if we don't have time to replace him. And I think United would be silly. I think for me, it's got to be £70 million, including add-ons, 60 million base fee for United to consider selling him, because this is the January market. Napoli obviously can't get Adeyemi. They're in a title race. I think it could go down to the wire. Look, I think Garnacho will stay, but I think deadline day there will be bids. But I think United are going to be very hardball on this and say, give us 60 million plus or he's not yours. Because why would United want to sell on deadline day in January when there's not many options available to replace him? And they might lose Rashford as well, which means Rashford, Anthony, and Garnacho go in one window, and then you've got one replacement to come in. We're very thin there. In regards to Rashford, Al Ahly made a new approach for Marcus Rashford. The Saudi club are looking to take advantage of Barcelona struggling to do the deal, says Ben Jacobs. Now, Ben Jacobs, he said that, we said that Casemiro was wanted by Saudi, and then the next week he said that Saudi didn't want Casemiro. So he contradicts himself a lot, Ben Jacobs, and I think he just says what everyone else is saying and just sort of repeats it, if I'm going to be honest. I think he's gets information here and there, and obviously is a good journalist, but I think I have to always take what he says with a bit of a pinch of salt these days, because from what I'm hearing, that is that if Rashford doesn't go to Barcelona, he'll go to Dortmund, and there's an offer on the table from Dortmund. The reason Rashford hasn't accepted is because he's waiting for Barcelona. I don't think Rashford's going to go to Saudi. From what I've heard, Rashford won't go to Saudi because he wants to get back in the England squad. It was said by Ryan Taylor Sport that Manchester United is a possible destination for Mathys Tel, provided Bayern Munich would be willing to sanction a loan. It's just breaking news right now, but it could massively depend on the future of Garnacho and Rashford. But to be honest, I think a lot of people are guessing. They've seen we're linked to Mathys Tel, and I think they're guessing a little bit. But let's continue on into the last story in regards to transfer news, and that is Patrick Dorgu. It's now been confirmed by Laurie Whitwell. Apparently his flight is today. Some sources are saying his flight is tomorrow. But he could be ready to play for us by the weekend, or at least on the bench ahead of the weekend fixture. Won't be ready tomorrow for the game against the Romanian side, FSSB or something like that. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on the news. I think the Mathys Tel news is encouraging because it's also come from a reliable source. Thank you for watching. Bye.